A teenage girl steps onto a plane, her heart set on enjoying a first-class experience gifted by her hardworking father. But when a flight attendant questions her right to be there, tensions rise. Little does she know, her father is the airline's CEO. What happens when he steps in to defend her? Subscribe and join us as this emotional story takes flight. The airport was alive with the hum of activity. The scent of freshly baked pretzels wafted through the air as travelers hurried to their gates, dragging suitcases behind them. The intercom crackled with announcements, each one adding to the symphony of sounds that filled the bustling space. In the midst of this chaos, 17-year-old Zara Thompson walked with a confident stride. Her backpack was slung over one shoulder, and her eyes sparkled with excitement. Today was special. Her father, a successful businessman she rarely saw due to his demanding job, had surprised her with a first-class ticket for her birthday. It was a rare gesture, and Zara felt a mix of gratitude and anticipation. As she approached the gate, she noticed the line for first class was shorter, and the passengers waiting there seemed to exude an air of privilege. Zara felt a little out of place, but reminded herself that she deserved this treat. She had worked hard in school, and her father had recognized her efforts. When it was her turn to board, she handed her ticket to the flight attendant, a woman with a stern expression named Ms. Carter. The attendant glanced at the ticket, then at Zara, her eyes narrowing slightly. "First class?" Ms. Carter asked, her voice tinged with doubt. "Yes, that's what my ticket says," Zara replied, her confidence wavering slightly under the attendant's scrutiny. Ms. Carter looked at the ticket again, then at Zara, her expression unchanged. "First-class tickets are for our premium passengers. Are you sure this is yours?" Zara felt a pang of embarrassment. "Yes, my father bought it for me. It's a birthday gift." Ms. Carter sighed, her skepticism evident. "Wait here, please. I'll need to verify this." As Ms. Carter walked away, Zara felt the weight of the other passengers' gazes. Some looked curious, others judgmental. She could feel her cheeks growing warm and her heart pounding in her chest. She wanted to call her father, to hear his reassuring voice, but she hesitated. He had always taught her to handle situations on her own, to be strong and resilient. Minutes ticked by, and the tension in the air grew thicker. Zara's mind raced with thoughts. What if they didn't believe her? What if she was forced to leave? She clutched her ticket tightly, her knuckles turning white. Finally, Ms. Carter returned, accompanied by a man in a crisp suit. He introduced himself as Mr. Harris, the gate manager. His expression was neutral, but his voice was firm. "Miss Thompson, we've verified your ticket." "It seems there was a misunderstanding," he said, glancing at Ms. Carter, who looked visibly uncomfortable. Zara let out a breath she didn't realize she was holding. "So, I can board?" "Yes, of course. Our apologies for the delay," Mr. Harris replied, offering a polite nod. As Zara made her way down the jet bridge, she felt a mix of relief and lingering frustration. She had been through this before, people doubting her, assuming she didn't belong. It was a familiar sting, but she refused to let it ruin her day. The first-class cabin was a world apart from the rest of the plane. The seats were wide and plush, and the air smelled faintly of lavender. Zara settled into her seat, her earlier tension slowly melting away. As the plane prepared for takeoff, she glanced around the cabin. The other passengers were busy with their own routines, some reading, others sipping champagne. No one paid her any attention, and for that, she was grateful. But as the plane taxied down the runway, Zara couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. She had faced prejudice before, and she knew it wouldn't be the last time. But she also knew that she was strong, that she had the courage to stand up for herself. As the plane soared into the sky, Zara gazed out the window, watching the ground disappear beneath her. She thought of her father, of the sacrifices he had made to give her this life, and she promised herself that she would make him proud, that she would continue to rise above the doubts and judgments of others. The flight attendant approached with a glass of orange juice, offering a warm smile. "Welcome aboard, Miss Thompson. If there's anything you need, just let me know." Zara returned the smile, feeling a sense of calm wash over her. "Thank you," she said, taking the glass. As she sipped the juice, she thought about the journey ahead. It wouldn't be easy, but she was ready. She was ready to face whatever challenges came her way, to prove that she belonged wherever she chose to be. The plane climbed higher, and Zara felt a renewed sense of determination. She was ready to take on the world. The flight was smooth, the gentle hum of the engines providing a soothing backdrop to the quiet conversations and occasional clinking of glasses in the first-class cabin. Zara leaned back in her seat, feeling the tension of the earlier confrontation slowly fade away. She glanced at the time on her phone, realizing they were about halfway through the flight. As she scrolled through her messages, a new one popped up from her father. "Enjoy the flight, Zara. Remember, you deserve the best. Love you." She smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her chest. Her father had always been her biggest supporter, even when his work kept him away. Just then, a commotion near the front of the cabin caught her attention. She looked up to see Ms. Carter, the flight attendant who had questioned her earlier, speaking with a man in a suit. The man was tall with an air of authority that seemed to fill the space around him. Zara's heart skipped a beat as she recognized him, her father, Marcus Thompson. Marcus spoke calmly, but with a firmness that demanded attention. "I understand there was an issue with my daughter's seat," he said, his voice carrying a weight that silenced the murmurs around him. Ms. Carter's face flushed as she stammered, "Mr. Thompson, I apologize for the misunderstanding. We verified her ticket and—" Marcus raised a hand, cutting her off gently. "I appreciate your diligence, but I trust my daughter. She belongs here, just as much as any other passenger." Zara felt a surge of pride as she watched her father stand up for her. She had always admired his strength and the way he commanded respect. But more than that, she was grateful for his unwavering support. Marcus turned to Zara, his expression softening as he made his way to her seat. "Hey, kiddo," he said, offering a warm smile. "You okay?" Zara nodded, feeling a lump form in her throat. "Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks for coming." Marcus crouched down to meet her gaze, his eyes filled with concern. "You know you can always call me, right? I don't want you to feel like you have to handle everything on your own." Zara felt a wave of emotion wash over her. She had always tried to be independent, to prove that she could handle whatever life threw at her. But in that moment, she realized how much it meant to have someone in her corner, someone who believed in her unconditionally. "I know, Dad. I just didn't want to bother you," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Marcus placed a hand on her shoulder, giving it a reassuring squeeze. "You're never a bother, Zara. You're my daughter, and I'll always be here for you." As the plane continued its journey, Marcus took the seat next to Zara, and they talked about everything and nothing. He asked about her school, her friends, and her plans for the future. It was a rare moment of connection, one that Zara cherished deeply. As they spoke, the other passengers in the cabin began to take notice. Some offered apologetic glances, while others whispered among themselves. But Zara didn't care. She was with her father, and that was all that mattered. The flight attendant from earlier approached with a tray of refreshments, her expression contrite. "Mr. Thompson, Miss Thompson, I want to sincerely apologize for the earlier misunderstanding. It was a mistake, and I hope you can forgive us." Marcus nodded, his expression kind but firm. "Thank you for your apology. Let's move forward." As the attendant walked away, Marcus turned to Zara, his tone gentle but serious. "You know, Zara, people will judge. It's a reality we all face, but what matters is how you respond. You stood your ground today, and I'm proud of you." Zara felt a sense of pride swell within her. "Thanks, Dad. I just wish it didn't have to be like this." Marcus sighed, his expression thoughtful. "I know, but remember, every challenge is an opportunity to grow, and every time you stand up for yourself, you're teaching others to do better." As the plane began its descent, Zara gazed out the window, watching the landscape come into view. She felt a renewed sense of purpose, a determination to face whatever came her way with grace and strength. When the plane touched down, Marcus stood up, offering Zara his hand. "Ready to go, kiddo?" Zara took his hand, feeling a sense of calm wash over her. "Yeah, I'm ready." As they made their way off the plane, Marcus turned to her, his voice filled with warmth. "Remember, Zara, you belong wherever you choose to be, and no one has the right to make you feel otherwise." Zara smiled, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. She knew the road ahead wouldn't be easy, but with her father by her side, she felt ready to take on the world. As they walked through the airport, Zara felt a sense of peace. She had faced a challenge and come out stronger, and she knew that this was just the beginning of her journey, a journey filled with opportunities to learn, grow, and make her mark on the world.